Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to do drip irrigation. So the first thing that you do, um, the first thing that you do, let me call my good friend Philly, who is going to be helping me to answer this. Okay. So
Hi, Kuda.
hi
What's
Philly.
going on?
So how do you do drip irrigation?
I'm
No, come
not.
on, don't you open this?
This is not particularly my line of expertise.
Oh, come on. What do you do? I'm counting on you.
No, I think we should call the experts on this.
Okay, so to do that, we're going to call the guys from Drop Tech Irrigation.
That's the one.
Yeah, so
Yes.
me and Philly, you're going to be asking questions about drip irrigation and the benefits and how to install it because I'm actually on the farm right now to do that. Yeah,
Let's get it.
yeah, well.
Okay, Blessing. Can you
Yes.
please explain to us what this black contraption you're adding to our borehole does? What exactly is it?
All right, Philly. So to start with, this is called a filter.
Okay.
The purpose of the filter is to trap any form of dirt that could have come from the bowl,
Okay.
entered the tank, settled on the base, and has got potential to enter the main line. Whatever dirt goes to the main line blocks the drip. So we want to avoid that.
Okay.
So the purpose of this filter here mainly is just to make sure there is no blockage on the drip. Usually when drip blocks, you have to buy a whole new set. Or you can put what we call an inline cleaner, but sometimes it's not efficient. So here we're just putting a filter to make sure we give long life to our main line and also to the drip system. That's the only function this item is working.
Okay. What
Yes.
sort of dirt are you talking about?
When water is pumped from the bore, usually it comes with a content of silt. Silt is that micro sand. It builds over time.
Okay.
So you find Guti routinely the guys who are going to be working here shall routinely open this cap
Okay.
and be able to clean up.
How do you clean it?
Yes, they just open this cap.
Okay.
It's like a screen. They go to the tap, they remove the dirt,
Okay.
they put it back. It's as simple
Quite
as that.
simple. Okay.
Yes. So over time, the silt builds up, or anything that could be picked by the bore down. Mind you, bore water is coming from underground.
Yes.
We can't see with the eyes what's there, but we have to be a step ahead. This is the step ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. So mainly it's to do with that silt, because when the silt goes to the drip, over time it blocks those drip emitters.
So is that basically the only reason? I'm asking because
That's the only reason.
let's say since this is for the field
Yes.
anyway, would it have any effect if we didn't have the filter?
The effect would be a faster rate of the drip lines being blocked.
Okay.
What's the impact to you? You were going to spend cash again buying new drip lines.
Okay.
Whereas with this unit, that's not going to happen.
So we're
It's
looking for
going
longevity.
longevity. So it's really critical like that.
Okay. But otherwise the water itself is not poisonous to the plant, so to
Not
speak.
poisonous at all.
Okay.
But the contaminants of the water, particularly the physical ones, referring to the silt itself.
So will that only function for the drip system, irrigation system, or will it also be filtering the drinking water?
We have put it on the drip side. Why? We don't want it to be over busy. If it continues to work both sides, then over time we'll overuse the membranes.
Okay.
So we want it to be focused on the field side. But if you then want, this is particularly for horticulture, but if you then want also to treat the house, there are special units that are meant for the house, which we can put, of course, on the line that goes to the house.
Okay.
Yeah, but this one, its focus is agricultural. There are domestic ones. If you've noticed these blue casings where you put some salt on the inside,
Yeah.
dealing with water for the consumption, these are purely agriculture.
Okay. And in
Yeah.
terms of how long it lasts, do you have like a
Lifespan.
yeah?
This can work for as good as 3-4 months for a bowl. You clean, you put it back. 3-4 months, you put it back. But in total, you could be replacing your filter after about 2-3 years.
2-3 years.
But in the process of the 2-3 years, that's where you have got some 3-4 months breaks where you are
Clean it
constantly cleaning. Yes.
Okay.
The beauty about a bore is it's not like it's an overnight dirt. It's a phase, it's a period. But we are saying instead of this dirt accumulating on the drip,
Yeah.
let it accumulate here.
There.
3-4 months, you remove the cap, you clean it. It goes on 3-4 months, you remove it. At the end of maybe 2-3 years, the membrane could now be overused. That's where you might need to change the membrane, not the casing.
Okay. That's what was also going to be my next question. If I'm
Yes.
replacing the entire
No,
unit.
no. It's just the
inside.
inside membrane, the filtration surface.
Okay, so now you said we have to replace the membrane every 2 to 3 years. What exactly is the cost difference from the entire unit and just replacing the membrane?
Right, the membrane itself, $5.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm
Five.
spending $5 for 2 to 3 years.
Yep. It's
Okay.
cheap like that, but good quality. That's why it's taking you 2 to 3 years. Then if by chance you then decide to say, I want to change the whole body, though it's not necessary, now that's $40.
Okay.
The whole body.
Would you say it's possible for that to be affected by weathering?
The whole body.
Yes, the actual unit itself. Is there ever a chance for it to crack
No.
because of sun or anything?
No. When they are manufactured, they are meant to resist different weather conditions.
Okay.
They come to Africa for Africa.
Okay.
They are dealing with sun rays.
Our specific climate.
Yes, they are dealing with the rainy seasons. The reason why they do that is because they know we are working on open field like this. So when they come, it's not just thrown. We are buying products that are meant for Zimbabwe,
Okay.
open field in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yes, that's why we put it in the open like this. You come here after a year, you will see it like this. You come here after 2 years, you see it like this. The only change is going to be on the inside.
The inside.
But what could change on the outside if this water has calcium salts?
Okay.
Now that's a different case altogether.
Okay.
You might have a case where your water has calcium salts. Then we need to treat calcium salts before the water actually enters the tanks.
What do you mean by treat it?
Have you seen a case whereby your cups, your pots, after you use them, they remain with a whitish layer?
Yes, yes.
That's calcium.
Okay.
So when we say treat, we put a special filter from the bore so that the water is treated of these salts.
Okay.
So that when it comes here, it's no longer infested.
So you would advise people to test their water first before coming to buy the unit?
Funds permitting, it's something good to do.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how much is funds permitting exactly?
We don't do per se.
Okay.
We don't do that service.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but it's something one can get from, I think it's Zimlabs or something.
Oh, okay.
We personally don't do that exercise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we have had it connected and now we're having the pipe going
Yes.
towards
So
the field. Can you
so the
walk us
issue
through that?
is when the water comes from the bore,
Okay.
it gets into your tank. From the tank, it has to go to the drip system. But in order to go to the drip system, like we said, first it goes through the filter. From the filter, it goes to what we call the delivery pipe. A delivery pipe is this particular poly pipe, which is not affected by drilling or any work. Its purpose is simply to draw water from the filter, which is coming from the tank, down to the field itself. So we now move along.
Okay.
So you find that it's in a trench like this. Why do we put it in a trench? We have to make sure we close. Once it's closed, people can play around happily
Okay.
without interception. If it's on the surface, then we can have a challenge. One of the days you can have cows here or whatever. You don't want it to be intercepted.
Okay.
That's why it's in a trench like this. So it then moves down
Would
to
you
the field.
advise what specific depth the trench is supposed to be?
Because we are dealing with a gravity system, we are working with 20 to 30 centimeters. Why is it something shallow like this? We are not using a booster pump, so we want to utilize issue to do with the height of our 4-meter stand. So if we go too deep, we then give a strain to our water rising back
Okay.
again to the
Okay.
surface.
Okay.
But if we then have a booster pump or we're taking directly from the bore, We don't mind. We can even put a trench of 50 centimeters.
Oh.
So here we are basically tolerating issues to do with gravity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's our major determinant. So you find that the water is going to be moving in this pipe until it reaches our field for distribution. So this whole part here, the guys shall close the trench so that you won't be able to see the pipe anymore. So the
Okay,
pipe comes until it's the area with the beds, as you can see.
Okay, so now I see this guy is drilling holes
Yep.
into the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have like specific measurements that we're supposed to use, or they vary depending on farm size or something?
Right. The issue to do with drip line spacing has got to do with the regime or set of crops that you, the farmer, is going to be doing.
Oh,
For example, if I visit someone doing tobacco, I can't put the same measurements that I put on someone doing, let's say, garlic. It's different. So, for example, here, the request was then to go with the beds here, where we put 2 drip lines per bed. Roughly, we are looking at 50 centimeter spacing. As you can see, it's not a very wide space. So it's a factor of what you want to do as the farmer.
Okay.
We are not rigid to say we'll put this measurement on you, but you, the farmer, you will know which crop you want to do. So really it's a factor of your selection of crops.
But
so the holes themselves, they are just meant when we are going to be connecting later on the drip connectors. That's the point where the water will be coming from into the field. But
Okay.
we shall see that as we do it actually.
But do you ever give advice?
Yes, the advice that we usually give is as a farmer, appreciate the at least crop rotation you want to be working with. Then, because you can't be changing drip line every season,
This is
we
true.
then can advise to say with these kind of crops, maybe the spacing that's suitable is so and so. You then have to choose.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there ever any time when you say this is too close? You can't have the holes this close together.
30 centimeters is too close.
30 centimeters is too close.
It's too close. Because, for instance, if you are to do tomatoes, tomatoes need minimum 9 centimeters to 1.2 meters apart. And then you put the 30 centimeters. And we know for a fact, most farmers, one way or another, if you are doing horticulture, you might be doing tomatoes, cabbages, watermelon, butternut. So you see 30 centimeters become too close.
I get it now.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's always that range of crops a farmer would do. For instance, potatoes. On average, a potato is 70 centimeters to 1.2 meters, depending with the variety, how tubular it will be.
Yeah.
So you find 30 centimeters generally is just too close. At least 50 centimeters, lowest cap, 1.2 meters, highest cap. This is then to accommodate different crops, but with the same system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible to change just this pipe?
Yes, it's possible.
So you can maybe have 2 different pipes with different measurements.
Exactly. It can be done.
Okay.
Whereby at the end of the season, you undig the hole, you put a new pipe, you plug in connectors, you rearrange your drip connectors.
Okay. So that's
Yes.
not too bad then.
Yes.
Would you advise that though? Is there no breakage or anything that will happen?
Of course, when moving drip line, usually damages happen, regardless of its class. So
Okay.
it's always wise after a particular season. Maybe that's when you can. It has got to also to do with timing, because after each season, mind you, you're going to remove the drip lines from the field
Yes.
to put in your tractors and so forth. If you do it that particular time where it's strategic, then it's fine. But if you do it over and over and over, even on untimely periods, then that becomes dangerous.
Okay, so we spoke about tractors and plowing the field and all that.
Yep.
How exactly would you safeguard your irrigation system, your drip system, once you're like fiddling with your plants and stuff?
As the installation progresses, you shall see when they begin to plug in take-off connectors, they will be visible. So to the tractor guy, those will be a guide that this area is a no-go.
Oh, okay.
Yes, every farm, that's why they are safe like that. Right now you can't see because they haven't been put. Once they put those, they will be projected outside.
Okay.
So the tractor guy can always see that I can't go there, I can't go there.
Okay.
So, Blessing, my question for you is, I wanted to ask about the importance of a consultation field visit before giving the quotation. I remember the first time I walked into your office, we could come up with an estimate cost, and then you give us a cost of about, you said the cost could be maybe around 950 to 1,100, 1,200 per hectare. But when you got here, you actually had to do measurements of the field and see what's on the ground, and put in some distance from the water source and all other factors that come. So now, can you talk about the importance of a consultation call and why is it important and things like that?
That's a very good area to touch on.
Yeah.
Why? Because in the office, when we are marketing, we work with a standard measurement, which we assume we are going to find on every site. But in principle, that's not the case. So when in the office, we talk about a standard hectare, which is 100 meter by 100 meter. But now, like you said, a site visit or the consultation process is critical. Why? We get to come on the site and we take actual and accurate measurements as they are on the site. For example, here, when we came, instead of finding a 100 meter by 100 meter block, we found
a rectangle shape.
Exactly.
Okay.
148 meters by 30 meters. Now that has deviated from the 100 by 100. So for example, where we were going to put a main line of 100 meters, here we're putting a main line of 148 meters. You now have an additional 48 meters of main line and additional connector sets that go to the extra 48 meters.
Okay.
Now that's what brings about the differences from the one we caught in the office. But the one we caught in the office, we have to, for you to appreciate.
Absolutely.
Because if you have such a setup, it works.
Yep. So one day we visited a company that is called Winpart.
All right.
It was Winpart Agrochem,
Yes, that's the one.
where we asked about, what was the topic about, by the way, Philly?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes, yeah. So apparently, besides the fixed capital, let's say you have actually put your drip irrigation system, you've actually put your tanks, your water source, whatever needs to be done on a 1 hectare of land. So we're actually calculating. We're calculating for 1 hectare if you're planting tomatoes, right?
Definitely 1 hectare.
How much did you say is the possible outcome?
60,000.
60,000.
Yes.
And that's on an input of capital injection of how much?
Maybe 3.5.
Let's say 4,000 for
Yes.
arguments. So now, according to the interview that we did, let's say all things being equal in terms of labor, in terms of chemicals, and in terms of everything that needs to be done on the land, there is an injection of about $4,000, and then the outcome could be possibly be like 60,000 just from 1 hectare.
Minimum, really.
And that's the minimum. Now, when we did the interview with Philly, that actually surprised us, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
very
it
much
did
so.
actually surprise. So now, I want you to give a comment in terms of what are the pros and cons, given that kind of capital, given that kind of margin. Anyone will be tempted to go into farming.
Yep.
Yeah. So why is it other people fail and why these other people make it? Yeah. You want to do that? Have a
Definitely.
question?
No,
Oh,
stop
okay.
there.
That's fine. Okay.
Right.
You can comment on that.
It's a very good question. People fail for many reasons. The first issue is time management. For example, everybody, you hear them saying, I want to do tomatoes in winter. Why? Because they assume they will survive winter and hence there won't be tomatoes. As a result, the price will go high.
Yes.
But the question is, who is supposed to do tomatoes in winter? Are you the open field guy or the greenhouse guy?
Greenhouse.
Thank you.
So you put 4,000 on all inputs,
Yes.
open field, winter comes, it won't be merciful on you. It kills your money. You killed the 4,000 and you killed the projected 60.
This is true.
So there's got to do with time,
Okay.
right? This is winter. Come the right time, the rainy season, it's a good time to do. You know why? Because a lot of rain will be coming. It will be creating a humid environment. Humid environment creates fungal infestation or infection. What do you have to do? A lot of fungicides. There comes a person, they know they're supposed to produce 4,000, but they don't have it at one go.
Yes.
The rain is coming. The farm workers are going to be asking you, we need fungal A, B, C, D. You delay to supply. The rate of the infestation moves very fast. You go down. So these are the issues. Each time of the season, there is a type of reaction you have to do. So time is one determinant. I think I've explained the winter side and the rain side. The rain side, we need to be well prepared. That's one. Then the other issue that causes failure, variety. People will tell you do tomatoes. Which variety?
Especially considering climate?
That's right.
When you say variety, the type of tomato.
Yes, the type of
Yes.
seed you're using
Oh, okay.
particularly.
What are you using?
Okay.
Because, for example, there are those that do 10 to 15 kgs per plant. There are those that do 2 to 3 kgs. You then go and take the one that produces the lower yield. Whereas the one who told you to do tomatoes, maybe they didn't give you full information. So go to the next step. Find actual detail.
Yes, and how much water is needed for
You
that
see,
particular plant?
these are the
survive.
issues that cause failure. So we get information, we get excited, but it's not thorough. Because the moment you discuss with someone, depending with the depth of the conversation, they might not give you enough of what happened for them to get the result. So you need to
confirm
know
data,
everything.
basically.
That's the
You
issue.
need to know what to ask.
That's the
essentially.
issue.
Do your own research.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay, so we're here now. Like you've come to the farm, you're on site, you're doing the irrigation specs and everything. You're making sure everything is working.
Yeah.
What exactly is the length and the depth of which your company goes to make sure that everything is working properly?
All right, it's a good question. Basically, what we do at Dropstack is to start with, we advise people to commit to site visits.
Okay.
Reason being, they are the source of accurate quotations and accurate designs. So I myself and our team of engineers, we've got a very good team of engineers at Dropstack Irrigation, well educated, well experienced. We go to the farm, we come, we see what needs to be done. We give you a tailor-made quote. We don't really have a one size fits all. We do what needs to be done on your place. Your cost is your cost. Why? I once told him, someone will have a water source that's 2 kilometers away. They can't have the same quote with someone with a water source that's in the field.
Yes.
So we come for purposes of accuracy. We don't want to do a hearsay. So at Dropstack, we provide site visits. We do the design. We give you options. We advise. We know normally as farmers, you've got ideas, but some of them may not be good. We then advise to say, we think if you do it this way, it will give you results. And then when it comes to horticultural area, we are good to a certain extent, but we also have got to partner you with people who are into agronomy properly. So we are saying site visits, designs of irrigation systems,
Yes.
that is drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, orchards, we do microjets. Even here, if you want some pop-up sprinklers for your lawn to be good, we do that. We then come to the next level, we supply you the stuff and we install for you. So it's a one-stop house. Deliveries, you've got an option to use our truck, which you pay for, or you bring yours, you take the materials, you pick our installer, you go with him, we do the job. So basically that's what we do
Okay.
at Dropstack.
So my question is, I've actually seen that a lot of people in Zimbabwe actually, due to the technology of bore drilling and then the use of solar systems in Zimbabwe.
Yep.
So basically, I understand that people can do the bore drilling in a rural home and then install solar to pull water from the ground, even if the river is some kilometers away.
Yes.
And with that inception, I've seen a lot of rural homes making use of the drip irrigation versus probably using a hose pipe or using a
Yes.
bucket to water their fields. What are the advantages of drip irrigation over other methods?
Okay.
Like if you can mention a couple of advantages.
The main
maybe.
ones.
The
Right.
even the main ones. Come on. Get the main ones.
So
Yeah.
the advantages of drip, let me start with the issue of suffocation of weeds.
Mhm.
When you do overhead, you put water on
the
the whole
weeds.
ground.
Yes.
The weeds
I
get
didn't know that.
water, they grow, right? But when it comes to drip, it's a micro irrigation approach. By the word micro, I mean it focuses
Just
on
on
the
the plant.
plant.
Okay, so the water will be coming from this one, like this pipe is a section here.
Yes,
There's a hole that goes into just onto the plant.
onto the plant.
Okay.
So instead of competing with the weeds, when usually you use your overhead, that's your sprinklers, you then know the weeds are eliminated.
Okay.
That sounds like it cuts cost on labor.
That's where I
Like
wanted to go
de-weeding,
now.
yeah.
Weeding is now eliminated. 1, 2, even the patches of those chemicals that you would do
to kill the weeds
Yeah.
actually. Labor, yeah.
Labor
So-
and cost for fumigation is
Exactly.
now gone.
Yeah, even if of course.
Wow.
Yes, so that's the main advantage, number one. Number two, that issue alone of pointing on the crop on its own, besides the weeds, is an advantage. You want to be sure you gave the crop this much of water. Why? Because the dripper hose have got a specific discharge rate which they have.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you then know, for example, the ones we are giving you here, they are 1.4 liters per hour. You then go back to the agronomist. You say to him, sir, how much water should I give to this crop per day? If they say give it 1 liter, we then calculate for you
How many
how
crops a
many
day?
minutes do you want to take to give a liter instead of 1.4. Because we said the discharge rate is 1.4 liters per hour, but you want a liter. We then calculate for you the time.
Did you pass mathematics?
Of course not.
Now what he's talking about what he's talking about needs a little bit of mathematics.
So it comes now to what they call precision farming.
Oh, I see.
It's everything is now accurate and timed,
This sounds very eco-friendly
eco-friendly.
because no water is being like resources in general are just not being wasted.
You see, you are making sure you utilize everything when you need it.
So can we say probably the other farmers that are using other means, probably that are waiting for rain season and things like that. What are they missing out anyway?
If they're not
They're not
using
using
it.
irrigation, yeah.
Well, to start with, I would suggest if you want to grow as a farmer, you want to be farming out of season.
Out of season, yeah.
Out of season is that period when there is no rain. That's where the money is. So if you have got your drip, you continuously generate money. But at the end of the day, it's not about the drip, it's about getting the money. Mind you, I'm assuming the person taking the drip is a business person,
Yes.
but we have chosen agripreneurship.
Agripreneurship, yeah.
Yes, so you are saying drip is my stethoscope. If you are in your medical field, you need it like that. It's your, maybe you're a DJ, that's your microphone. You need it like that.
Yeah.
So you need it out of season to be able to generate cash, because if you wait for the rains only, then you are limited. The rest of the year you're going to be in need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Work outside the grain.